So today we are in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. It's on a Sunday afternoon, about 1 o'clock, and I'm not sure how much we'll get to see on a Sunday afternoon, but I'll give you a tour of downtown Bartlesville and maybe some other areas. Let's take a look. All right, well, my very first impression of downtown Bartlesville is it's clean, it's old, or vintage, we'll say, and it just, I like a lot of these older buildings that you see in some of the smaller towns that are, you can tell they've been around for a long time, but they're very vintage. They have character to them. I really like it. And the downtown seems very clean, very beautiful. So we'll take a little walk and check it out. Looks like you have a little hotel over here called the Box Hotel. Not familiar with it. They have Hideaway Pizza. I've had their pizza before in Tulsa, where I live. Pretty good pizza. They have kind of a different variety, not your typical pizza that you would get at a Pizza Hut. Just a little different variety of pizza, but they're pretty popular, at least in the Tulsa area. All right, let's take a look at the signage. This way you have the train depot, Santa Fe. Maybe we'll check that out. I'm not sure what that is. Downtown Bartlesville, welcome. What do we have this way? Flower shop. I'm not sure if any of these businesses are open on Sunday. Of course, the restaurant is, the pizza. It looks like most of the businesses are going to be closed today. But we don't plan on going inside anyway with the camera unless we're invited inside. Mega Chocolate and Gelato. Now they are closed on Sunday. Seems like an odd day to be closed for a restaurant. Now I know Chick-fil-A is. That's one of the things that makes them different is they do close on Sundays. Being a Christian-owned restaurant, maybe it's the same, but Sunday is a big eating out day here in the US. Boomerang Diner. I think this is a franchise, either a franchise or a chain. I've seen these in different areas of Oklahoma. Actually been to one time. It's okay, had a burger and it was okay. There's a classic car for you here in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. I'm not exactly sure it looks like a Chevy. I don't know what year. If you know what year or anything about this car, let us know in the comments. I'm just going to take a guess. Let's say a 57 Chevy. I'm probably way off, but that's my guess. Now over here in the distance you have a Hilton Garden Inn. I think that's one of the nicer places to stay in this town. It's not a very large community, and I actually stayed there many years ago. I used to do work up here in Bartlesville back in the day from 2004 to 2014, so almost 12 years. I actually was a Yellow Page, back in the Yellow Pages day, I was a sales associate. I sold advertising in Yellow Pages. This was one of my territories. We actually started a phone book here, and we stayed at that, when I say we, the group I was with that sold, we actually stayed at that hotel a few times. I remember getting snowed in here in Bartlesville one year. There was so much snow and ice we couldn't leave, and we stayed in that hotel. Pretty nice. All right, this is known, I guess, as the Frank Phillips Park, National Register Historic District. So Frank Phillips was an oil and gas man. I guess he lived here in Bartlesville, or his company was here, and it's very much known as an oil and gas town. And back in the day, to be a lot of money back here, I mean, maybe it's still that way, I'm not sure. But for a small town, it was very much oil and gas, which is Oklahoma in general. There's a lot of oil and gas. I think the two main industries here in Oklahoma, which I'm in neither. Maybe I should have gone into one. Maybe I would have been a billionaire. But the two main industries would be oil and gas, oil/gas, I guess, and banking. Those are the two industries. We have some aviation also. We do have a flight school, and I think that there's a lot of aviation here as well. So there's a little view of the park, the Frank Phillips Park. I'm not sure why it's considered a park. I guess there is a little bit of area there to walk around and a little seating there. All right, right over here, it looks like you have the Bartlesville Area Chamber of Commerce. That's an interesting building they're in. It looks like it used to be maybe a train station. There's the train behind it. Now, I think this train is not active. It looks like the tracks end right here, so this looks like maybe just to take a look at, but there is a train coming this direction. You can hear it blowing its horn, so we'll take a look. And it is hot out here today. It's about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely a hot day. South Kansas and Oklahoma Railway. Okay, across the street here, this building says ConocoPhillips Frank Phillips Tower Center. So, as I mentioned before, Frank Phillips was an oil and gas man here in Oklahoma, here in Bartlesville years ago. And that looks like it's one of his buildings. Very beautiful, very well maintained lawns, green. Over here you have Bartlesville Police, car number P145. That's what a Bartlesville police car looks like, in case you are interested. I've always wondered, maybe somebody knows the answer to this and can comment. I've always wondered why police cars, even when there's no one in the car, they always leave them running. I've noticed that. They're always running. I'm sure there's a reason. Well, I guess the obvious reason, it's really hot here in Oklahoma, so maybe it's to keep the air conditioner going. I'm really not sure the reason. But it also seems like a lot of wear and tear, extra wear and tear on the vehicles and gasoline. This is really beautiful. Again, I'm not sure what this building is. Maybe we'll find out. Just the lawn and the flowers they have. Gorgeous. Yeah, so Bartlesville, Oklahoma, downtown Bartlesville. Beautiful, beautiful downtown. Very well maintained. from everything that I'm seeing so far. And a historic town, Frank Phillips Petroleum. Again, he started Phillips gasoline, oil from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, or at least had his business here. I don't know the history, so you can fact check me on that. But there's a connection here. And in fact, he has, maybe we'll do a different video, he has a home here that he used to live in. Again, I don't know if it was his main home. I'm sure he had multiple homes. And you can actually go take a look at the home, and they have a museum there as well. I think it's called Woolarock. That will probably be a different video that we'll do. Today we wanted to take a look at the downtown area and just give you a view of the neighborhood. If you can see the street sign over here, this street running this direction, which is east and west, is Frank Phillips Boulevard. Look at this old-fashioned coffee machine, cappuccino machine. It looks pretty old-fashioned. Looks like it's not in working order, but pretty cool. I'm not sure really why it's in a photography business window, but pretty cool. You have a little deli and catering, an old-fashioned barber shop. You don't see too many of those around the US. I don't come across too many. Now in the Philippines, where I visit on a regular basis, you see them everywhere, the old-fashioned barbershops. That's one of the things I really like, is to be able to go to a barbershop in the Philippines and for about $2 or $3 US, be able to get your hair cut. Now, of course, that's pretty easy for me. It's more of a shave than a hairstyle, but it's the same price, even if you have plenty of hair. Here's a little boutique, unhinged lifestyle boutique. Looks like a ladies and maybe kids boutique. Red River Finance, I'm not sure what they do. Now, over here, this shop is called McCoy Jewelers. I remember probably 15 or 20 years ago when I used to sell Yellow Page ads. They were one of my clients. And it's good to see they're still in business. I don't think they were in that location. I don't remember for sure. It's been so long, but that doesn't seem familiar. I could be wrong. But it is good to see long-lasting businesses like that. Indian Lock and Key. There's a little restaurant, Palace Rooms. Looks like they're closed on Sundays as well. You don't really see too many restaurants in general closed on Sundays. That's not very normal, I don't think, but I've already seen a couple up here. So this restaurant, Lollipops, they have a really nice outdoor patio with fans, very beautiful, flowers. They have these swings. Looks like you can go out and have your lunch or dinner. I'm not sure what they serve. You can set out on their patio, and they have the indoor as well. Now, this time of the year, when it's July and it's hot, you know, it's probably not the best time of the year to be out on a patio, unless you like that kind of thing. It's a little warm for me. Now, this is normal temperature in the Philippines, but it's like this all year around in the Philippines. They have two temperatures, hot and hotter. Here's a little cafe across the street. I don't know if this, it looks like a coffee shop. They have a coffee mug, so it looks like it might be a coffee shop. We might have to pay them a visit and have some coffee while we're here. Right, here's a university campus, Rogers State University. I believe they are located, their main campus, again, you can fact check me here, but I think they're in Tahlequah or Claremore. So I guess this is a maybe a satellite campus, I'm thinking. Very cool. Beautiful building it's in. I think that's called the Price Tower. Again, not sure. I think that's an old historic tower here in Bartlesville. I could have that wrong, but I think that one's called the Price Tower. It is a hot day here in Bartlesville on this July day, but the wind is blowing a little bit, so there is a little bit of a nice cool breeze, not too bad. It's a Sunday afternoon, so I'm assuming that's why you don't see a lot of people out. The restaurant was pretty busy, but again, a lot of the restaurants that I've walked past here are closed, so maybe there's not a lot of choices on Sundays, and pizza's always a good go-to on a Sunday. You have First Presbyterian Church. That looks like an old church. City Hall, that direction. The courthouse is that direction. There's a public library. There's a sign for a public library in this direction. The beautiful American flag right above the Oklahoma State flag, blowing in the wind, the summer wind. Very beautiful. Now this looks like it might be a courthouse. You have the flag, you have a security camera here, stop, restricted access. So this is probably a courthouse or a government building, I'm assuming. We'll take a look. And I'm right. Washington County Courthouse Judicial Center. So beautiful building. Here's the public entrance on the west side. No guns, no knives. Very beautiful. Yeah, I'm really liking a lot of these historic buildings. I think we kind of take them for granted, and just in our everyday life drive past them, and you know, it's like that with a lot of things. You just kind of get used to seeing something and it's easy to take it for granted, but they're really beautiful, very beautiful. Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Haven't been up here in a long time. Looks like across the street you have Bartlesville History Museum and Gift Shop and City Hall. This is City Hall. Looks like they're in the same building. You have another water fountain over here. We'll take a look. Here's the Washington County Courthouse Administrative Building. Look how beautiful this lawn is. How well kept up. Another fountain off in the distance. Again, I just can't get over just how beautiful these buildings are. It's a nice fountain. As warm as it is, I feel like taking a little swim. I don't think you're allowed to do that though. Do not enter the water. Okay, we'll follow the rules today. Very beautiful. Right, the Phillips Petroleum Company. What a gorgeous building. Look at these beautiful lights they have here. Very historic. Frank Phillips Tower Center. Very nice. And across the street here you have the Hilton Garden Inn that I mentioned earlier, where I have stayed a couple times back when I sold Yellow Page ads. And I remember one year, snow and ice, very heavy snow and ice, and was stuck there for like a week. So the joys of travel. St. John Clinic. So this must be a branch of St. John's Hospital, which is the main St. John's Hospital is located in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I'm from, and that's where I was born many years ago on the 26th day of May 1977. I think that was on a Thursday. So I turned, if you do the math, I turned 48 years old this year in May. Still young and kicking though. All right, we're back around where we started by the pizza restaurant, and here's the Bartlesville police car again. It's been here for a while, I would say 20 or 30 minutes at least, and it's still running. That's where your tax dollars is going, Bartlesville. Gasoline. But of course we are in an oil and gas town, so, you know, maybe it's not too bad. Well, that's a little view of the downtown area. We can drive through Bartlesville and see if there's anything else to explore. Take a look. Woolarock today. Woolarock is just outside of Bartlesville. I think it's about 10 or 15 minutes, and they have a museum. I haven't been there in years and years, but they have a museum. They have wild buffalo and I believe other animals, or they used to. Again, it's been a long time, that are just roaming free, and you can drive through and check it out. I'm not sure what this is, or if they're still in business. Wholesale and retail, a deal. Dry goods, groceries, clothing, very old-timey. Doesn't look like they're in business, but who knows. We are known for our beef here in Oklahoma. American Heritage Beef Company. Quality beef from your family, from our family to yours. They're closed today. I know this business, Curtis, has been here forever, or at least many years ago when I used to come up here often. I remember that. I don't know what kind of business it is. I don't remember, but I remember seeing it, as well as Accent. I remember it as well. Right. Two things we have in Oklahoma. Actually, maybe three things. Churches and cannabis. So, not judging if that's your thing, but that seems to be a pretty consistent theme in Oklahoma. So we have churches and cannabis. Interesting. They have a doll, something that is supposed to look like Donald Trump. I don't think it really looks like him. Making cannabis great again. I guess they think that's funny. Hopestone Cancer Support Center.